Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Fred Slow, announcer for Two Man On, 610. Also, Highlands, voice of Highlands, New Mexico sports.
I hate that you introduced me as anything except for friend. I would just say my friend, Steve Davis, allowing me to be on his show.
Well, you know what? I'm not that good of a host.
No, that's okay.
But you are a good friend, and you've been a great friend, But I tell you, I'm really proud of you of what you've accomplished, and people. First of all, just give us a reader's digest of how you got to sit here right now.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's going backwards. It's a fun, complex story, but starting at the beginning is a little bit easier. My personal journey. I'm 37. So I think I started.
You're a day over 36.
Yeah, right. But I've been in the radio game, Steve, for, this is going to sound incredible, 19 years. So I started, the very first game I ever broadcast was Edwardsville Tigers versus the Granite City Warriors, and I was about 6 months older than the quarterback on the field. And it was, and I got out there and I had an idea of what.
Look, they got you Fred Slow as the storyteller.
That's what it should be. But it was it's been an incredible little journey. I had an idea what broadcast radio was, and I had an idea of what play-by-play was, and it turns out that was all wrong. You have to relearn it, and the industry has changed so tremendously over the last 20 years, where I feel like I've relearned it 3 or 4 times now. But a lot of years in sports broadcasting, a lot of years working in St. Louis, Missouri. That's where I really cut my teeth. So very fortunate to work for KMOX and KFNS and a lot of really neat stations out there, bringing nightly and weekly and weekends, and have microphone will travel. And then I came here to Albuquerque about 4.5 years ago, and when I arrived here, you were the first person I met with. So it was I met with you, Steve, on recommendation from our mutual friend and probably familiar ear to your viewing audience, Rob Portnoy, voice of the Lobos, because Rob had a connection to St. Louis. I'd come here, met him at Saggio's for a dinner, and then he said, you need to meet Steve Davis. Steve Davis is the guy who will set you up for success. And we started early. We did a TV show with you some years ago, and did a lot of the stuff that you guys cover around town. You gave me a lot of opportunity. And then a little bit of a hiatus as I tried to quit the radio game, which is impossible. It just sucks you back in. And how fortunate I am now to host Afternoon Drive on the Sports Animal, 4 to 7 every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, and then sit alongside you for Highlands basketball. We broadcast the Highlands Cowboys and Cowgirls basketball team, and then how fortunate I am to have their other varsity sports, including football, volleyball, soccer, baseball, softball. It's been a real.
Don't forget about wrestling.
And which I'm learning, so I'm going to learn to love. But but here I sit next to you with only opportunity here in Albuquerque from what you have given me. So thank you so very much, my friend.
Well, the word I tell people is excitement and energy. And my concern, as a friend and everything is how long can you keep that energy and stamina going at the pace that you're going? Because I consider myself a pretty busy guy, but every place I go, you're there.
Yeah.
And then I find out that where I'm not, you're there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so let's don't forget about the runners too. You know,
Oh, the New Mexico runners are.
and
And Andres Trujillo and that organization over there, you know, they're the only 100% locally New Mexican owned sports franchise in the state, which is incredible to me. And the indoor soccer game, you know, because I had a lot of years broadcasting for the St. Louis Ambush, which is MASL indoor soccer, and came over here to a product that I will argue is better in a lot of ways. The product on the field is excellent, but what they do for intermissions and timeouts, they keep the crowd engaged, and they allow me to laugh a little bit while I do the broadcast, which is good. Where it's, you know, it's not collegiate, it's not high school, and it's professional, and you can have a little bit more fun with it because there's some freedom. And obviously, working alongside your guys, it is, I don't know, it's a rare opportunity, and how fortunate I am to have it.
well, I tell you, it's when the Highland, you know, Andrew Ealing,
Yeah.
he called me, and, you know, Richard Tripp decided, no, he didn't retire, he just had too much on his plate with
Right.
being the athletic director at West Las Vegas, and while I'm at it, he's not feeling well, he has COVID, and I just want to shout
Speedy
out to
recovery
him,
to
you
him,
know, because I just recovered from it, and it was, I tell you, COVID affects everybody differently. You know, some people it doesn't even faze them. Me, I just had fatigue, and got bored because I had to stay at home and be
Yeah,
quarantined.
did not handle
It's not the greatest for somebody that's active and, you know, ready to go every morning is to know that you can't do anything. You have to sit there because you don't want to affect anybody. But I tell you, that is, you know, back to the word with you, is with the excitement and the energy that you bring to you to the community. And I think, you know, you're a perfect guy that I consider as the land of enchantment, and you got enchanted.
Oh, yeah, I did. Absolutely. Yeah, it was, you know, moving here from the Midwest, and when I was on that journey to find my next place in life, it was, I didn't know anyone in Albuquerque.
Yeah, why Albuquerque? This way,
Great question. So I was searching for some anonymity, and, you know, there are multiple versions of the story as I tell them, depending on who I'm talking to. But it's, I had gone through some changes in my life, specifically some personal changes, and I really needed a relocation from St. Louis, Missouri, similar to what you were talking about. In my time in St. Louis, which I adore, and I grew up there, and I loved it. You know, I was a community member, and I ran the Boys and Girls Club, and I had the radio show, and all these like fun community outlets. And as I would pass through life, I would interact with so many people, and they were all based out of love, Steve, all in kindness. But they would ask me how I was, or they'd ask me how my previous life was, and they would ask me all these questions. And I just got to the point where I was searching for anonymity. I was searching to go to a place where I could walk through the Walmart and not necessarily know anyone. And Albuquerque, New Mexico, jumped out to me on the map is a place I'd really never spent any time or really experienced any life. And I had no idea. I thought it was just a desert. I didn't know the difference in high mountain desert.
Did you know it was in the United States?
Yes.
Oh, okay, you did.
Yes.
Okay, so you did go to school, all right?
Yeah. A weird little humble brag I do all the time is I've been to 49 states. And I came to New Mexico very young. I came to New Mexico, and I was like, well, I don't know the experience of New Mexico as an adult. And from the moment I got here, if it's the beautiful vistas of the mountains or just the absolute kindness of the people here, I've not met. You're a prime example. Or your guys here at ProView, Aaron, and well, there's just too many to name. But there's a level of acceptance and understanding here that I've experienced nowhere else in the country. I'm addicted to it.
Well, Fred, we're going to go to the Dream Style Top 10 Plays of the Week, and then we'll come back and talk more about Fred's flow and about your radio show.
The other direction, and good steal away by the Storm for two. Aubrey Jaramillo.
Oh, I'm sorry, 8-2. Another steal by the Bears. Ahead to Ottman. Ottman lays it up and scores. Riley Ottman already has 6 points and
the other side. Fires it to Dyer. Dyer left it open. How about that defense? You can't leave the ball exposed like that, can you?
Henna shoots for three. Tipped up and good. Kennedy Brown. Bears have used 2 timeouts. The Hawks have used 1. Natalia Chavez. Holy cow. Yeah, entire game. Here's Jaquan Hill. Sets up Alter on the dunk. Coach Hogan about Riley, she mentioned, the other day against El Dorado, she didn't have a big game. Oh, breaks an ankle, puts in 2. Riley Ottman.
Latavius looks up. There's 8 to play.
He's going to back him up, take a shot. Yep.
Nope. Way back 3. Yes, he banks it in from way back downtown.
So 5 to shoot. Judah looks up, he sees it. 3 to shoot.
Oh!
He put the youngster on skates, and he buries the 3.
Ball's loose with only 4 seconds to play. Pacheco picks it up and fires! Yes! Pacheco ends the quarter from midcourt for the Jaguars. And Driscoll will take an 18-13 lead into the second.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We got Fred Slow, 2-man on, 6'10", 4 to 7, Monday through Friday, and talk about that real quick.
Oh.
I mean, what you're trying to accomplish. I know you're going 100 miles an hour with it, but you talk about having guests on and how they get a hold of you. Just tell them how do people get involved with Fred Slow and what you represent, and talk about your co-host.
Yeah, thank you so very much for giving me that opportunity. And your billboard's tremendous to use to talk about what we're able to do. And my co-host Van Nunley, who's my business partner and my best friend, he's a world of talent.
I gotta get Van on. Tell him beside.
Absolutely. He'll be as jealous as anyone's ever been after today.
Yeah, tell him I hadn't forgot him. Okay.
No, I'm sure he's in the chat room.
And I got a shirt for him too. I don't want to be at the Gladiators. All right. See, I listen to your show. So.
There's a little bit of back and forth with that, but yeah, I tell you, it's obviously Cumulus owns 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal, so we work with Cumulus, and they've given us a really good foundation to build a product here in the community that maybe has been lacking for some time. We have here in town, and I'll give an example, the morning show with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck, the opening drive. It is the best sports show in town. There's no doubt in my mind. They cover the games, they have the recaps, they have analysis, they get top tier guests that break down balls and strikes. And that's just absolutely not the product we've created. We're very sports adjacent, and it's very community based, and around the premise of sports, we're able to laugh and tell a lot of stories, and we're able to connect with our friends of the show, which is what our listeners are. But yeah, we do. We feature, Steve. We feature all the time. You've been on the program. Anyone who has a passion for, and I'm not talking Advocare. I'm not talking scams, but I'm talking anyone who's
you talk about businesses,
yeah,
or you have people that come on the community?
Yep, youth organizations, and you have the Isotopes on this week. We had the United on last week. We have, it's to be able to put a focus on what's going on in the community and how it can positively impact people in the community. And we've been so very fortunate to have some success doing that. But 2 Men On wouldn't exist without the opportunity that came from the weekend program, ABQ Central, which we had for about 2.5 years. And 2.5 years of ABQ Central, which grew from a TV show we had with you, The Claim, into what it is now. 2 Men On has just been a tremendous journey here over the last 3 years or so.
Well, going back to Jeff Symbiota and JJ Buck,
World of talent.
First of all, not only do they do a great show, but what they do in the community.
Yeah,
and that's
huge.
that's the first thing I stress to you is, do the positive things and stay away from the negative, or diffuse the negative.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to talk about the negative. Well, there's so much great things in New Mexico besides the negative.
Oh, I agree completely. Well, and how fortunate I am to have, a spotlight 3 hours a day, every day to put a focus on those. But there are so many that you can't do them all. And I'll use like Jeff Symbieta as an example. His New Mexico Bowl is, to me, as important as the Balloon Fiesta. Is, to me, as important as anything that goes on in the city. And him and his team that put that, they have greater reach because of the radio product. And JJ Buck, who's also the voice of Lady Lobos basketball.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not, they're just not radio hosts. They're in the community.
There's more talent right now at the Sports Animal than I think I've seen in sports talk ever. There are people who are community centered. There are people who are kind. And those are two things that you don't often find in the radio world. And for the prominent voices on that station to have all those qualities, if I'm so fortunate to include myself in that statement, the Sports Animal to me is the measuring stick by which all other sports should be judged at this point. Because then it's the quality of people. The pillars and what has been brought in, it's not just sports knowledge. It's not just name recognition. It's caring and it's giving and it's community investment. And the morning show and our show, I'm very proud to be a part of those.
Well, I tell you, 610's been, I don't know how long they've been around, but they've been, been one of the, I remember when they came on in the Sports Animal.
Yeah.
That was the first show, and nobody thought it was a 24-hour sports channel, and all of a sudden it's evolved, and it's got, it's just unbelievable how community involved they are.
Yeah, it's incredible. And obviously with the cluster that is Cumulus, you have some joint efforts through, KKOB, which is political talk here in town. They do a bunch of drives, and they help different organizations. And every chance they get, they incorporate us in. And it's just, like I said, there's a fellowship about it that if you're part of the business, you're going to understand that statement. And if you're on the outside looking in, just recognize it as very unique here in town, that there is radio here that cares about here. And no offense to maybe some competitors in town, but there are music stations in town that don't employ a DJ here in this city, and that to me is unacceptable.
Well, you talk about it's New Mexico, but the people are by New Mexico, and there's a lot of just like ProView Networks, it's New Mexico, a native New Mexican running it. Also Indian, by the way.
Yes.
So, but it's very, very so community based.
Yeah.
But we're going to go to a break. We're going to come back and we're going to pick up on that point.
Love that.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm Ben Lucero, president and owner of Indigo Mortgage. We are a locally owned and operated mortgage company right here in New Mexico. This means your loan officers and processors are right here to serve you. Our mortgage divisions include residential, commercial, construction, reverse mortgages, and VA mortgage loan. Indigo Mortgage, because nobody cares more about your mortgage loan.
Moody's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Hey, welcome back, Steve Davis Show. We've got Fred Slow, 2 men on.
Yep.
6:10, Monday through Friday, 4 to 7.
It's been a real blessing and exciting announcement, Steve. Your boys are going to the Super Bowl. So yeah, we got our big press, we got our credentials, and me and Van and our third co-host who often sits in, Robert Gibson, we're going to head out to the Super Bowl and do Radio Row, do the whole experience. So
you're actually going to be there, set up, do a 2 men on show? Is that
daily?
How exciting is that?
I tell you, it's a unique experience.
Your head's pretty big. Is it? Do I get it bigger?
No.
No, it's not. It's not going to grow any more than what it already is.
It's the neatest thing. You get to meet with dozens and dozens of Super Bowl level celebrities and have those interviews and go through those processes. And then the thing that's most special to me is represent New Mexico. Represent New Mexico at the Super Bowl. Because, it's not necessarily the highest served media market all the time. And for the Super Bowl to recognize us as an entity that is deserving of being there is a real special thing. And then to go there and I'll wear a Zia shirt every day. It should be pretty exciting. So.
I thought you were going to wear a ProView Network shirt.
I absolutely will.
No, just kidding. I think you got that. I want to get Van. Tell Van I hadn't forgot him. So, but
before I go, we're going to spend the weekend in Las Vegas, New Mexico.
You're correct. And this weekend, give us an update on it.
Friday and Saturday. It should be very good. Colorado Christian and then Metro. So it'll be Friday and Saturday. So that's men and women's. So double headers both days. We'll be up there. I have to rush back Saturday night. It's my lady's birthday. So we're going to go out that night. But, we're going to have a lot of fun covering basketball and how fortunate we've been to be able to do that. And it's the first game for the men's team in, I think, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. The last game was January 1st.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting from my standpoint to see, Mike Dominguez. First of all, RMAC, as we see them, the talent in that RMAC, if you haven't watched any of these games and watched the talent that this league is in, these players are, they're one step being Division I players. Yeah. I mean, their top players could probably play Division I.
Often the obstacle for them to be at Division I is not athletic ability. Often there's another circumstance that has put them at the D2 level.
Good point.
And
it's called baggage.
Yeah.
There you go.
And a lot of these young men will go on to play professionally after this level of basketball, be it here in the States in a G or D league, but overseas, because there's that type of talent.
Well, I'll tell you, Andrew Ewing, Ewing, the athletic director at New Mexico Highlands, really. I want to thank you because there's a lot of because Richard Tripp is usually when you have a legend, like Richard Tripp, and then somebody takes on, you don't want that job.
No, you don't want to replace Derek Jeter.
Right? Yeah, you don't want to take that job until the next one, and really the upside for you has been very positive.
Oh, it's only been. Yeah, and incorporating New Mexico Highlands into the show, 2 men on. The feedback we get with the calls or the texts or the interactions through our outlets, people have a passion for Highlands University that I didn't know existed here in Albuquerque. There are so many connections to it, and I wouldn't be privy to that without the opportunity that the University and ProView Networks has given me to be a part of their family.
Well, I even help you out that if you go to APS, I'm just going to there's probably a graduate at Highland at every school.
Yeah.
Teaching, coaching, administration, you would be surprised. One day I was talking with somebody. We named off like almost 35, 40 people.
Yeah.
That are graduates
and that are positively impacting the community. And it's like our friend Ed Nunez at the University of New Mexico. He had experience at Highlands. There's all kinds of individuals.
Well, here's the biggest one, Adrian Ortega. He's the head guy at APS.
Recently appointed, and
right.
and he's a tremendous individual. And it's a university.
And then you go to Sean Shire over at West Mesa. You just start, I just start, his dad. I mean, there's just so much history with this.
Literally, my trainer at the YMCA, former football player at Highlands. Like it's everyone in the community up and down, and if I wear purple and white around town, people throw the horns. People are excited about the Cowboys and the Cowgirls.
And I would like to touch on this where people starting tomorrow, APS is no fans in the stands for 2 weeks.
And the information I have on it is the public information. I reached out to Adrian and I reached out to JP, and I wasn't able to get anything official yet. But hopefully I'll be able to do a follow-up on it this afternoon on the show, 4 to 7. But if not, from starting the 19th through the 2nd. And then on the 2nd, I guess they're going to reevaluate. They didn't say it would be unsuspended, but they're going to address it again.
Well, they're going week to week.
Yeah.
And part of that's just with, the COVID influx of so many cases over the last 2 or 3, actually the last month. And just if they can get it to go downwards, and I think we'll be fine. So basically, wear your mask and be there are other gyms that are going to be. It's not the whole state's getting shut down.
Yeah.
So like the Hope and St. Pius and those schools, you'll be able to go attend those games. Academy. So it's not a full shutdown, and Rio Rancho is going to be open still too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the private and parochial, they have a little more carte blanche with what rules they want to play with often, and obviously because they're not governed by APS. But I do know that every game I've been to this year, people are doing it safely, or at least it appears to me that way. I feel like people are well masked. I feel like if you're in your pod, you're not necessarily interacting with others. I think APS has handled it tremendously to this point.
Well, you know what? They're being smart. And then another one that you should know is that the state tournament is the first 2 games. The first 2 games are going to be home.
Yeah.
And then they're going to pick up the semifinals. I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Instead of Monday through for the whole week. So.
And all of that's on ProView Network or
NFHS. And quickly, tell me about this week. Other guests coming up over the next 3 or 4 days?
Yeah, we got a good one this week. So we're having on the new media relations for the Isotopes. So we will do that this week. We're live from O'Neill's on Thursdays. So we'll be at O'Neill's in Nob Hill this week. So if you want to come out and see your boys, that'll be a good one. I'm off on Friday. So sitting in for me is Robert Gibson, as I'll be with you in Highlands. So if I'm not there, the show still goes on, and a lot of people say it's better when I'm not.
Hey, Fred, thanks for coming on the Steve Davis Show, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, my friend.